Hi everyone, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful little shabby chic wreath ornament with just simple chenille stems. These are actually spiral chenille stems, and you can purchase them at Hobby Lobby. And I think it turned out really nice, so stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how I put this together. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is a package of white chenille stems, and these are the spiral chenille stems. I don't know if they have them at Michael's, but I bought this at Hobby Lobby, and you get 50 pieces for $2.99. Okay, and I'll show you what they look like up close, just like that. Okay, so for each wreath, you're going to need 2 of these spiral stems, and I'm going to start by twisting the end like that, okay? And then I'm just going to twist it all the way down, just like this. And all the way down. Okay, we're coming towards the end. Do this like that. Now you can see it's all kind of lumpy and bumpy, but don't worry about that, okay? Now you can, pardon me, now you can make these little wreaths as small as 2 inches and as large as 3 inches. It's up to you. You just have to adjust the length of the trim that you're going to use on this. But today I'm going to make this about 2 1/4 inches. So in order to do that, I'm just going to take this bottle that I have, and I'm going to kind of pull and tug like this. And then once you do that, you'll have a nice form like that. Now I'm going to lay this down on my mat and measure to see if it's roughly 2 1/4 inches, which I think it's pretty good at about here, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold on to this, and I'm going to wrap this down and kind of pull it down. Do the same thing here. Wrap this around and pull this down like that. Okay. So now I'm going to cut the ends off here, and they'll hang, which is fine. I'll cut the rest off with scissors. Like that. Like that. Alright, so for this part, I'm going to kind of smash this flat, like so. Alright, now don't worry about this bulky piece at all. I'll show you what we'll do to cover that up towards the end. Okay, so I'm going to be using this trim that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Pink Opal. It's 24 feet for $2.99. Now these do go on sale a couple of times a month, and I'm thinking that next week these should go on sale again, if my calculations are right. And then you're going to need some 2 1/2 inch rhinestone chain, and this is the AB chain, and I bought this from Amazon. I think it's the Hanbei brand. I don't think I put this in another bag. I will try to find the link for you and post it on my blog at happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com. Just scroll all the way down the page until you find the picture of this ornament, and it'll be there, okay? So, what I did for this little wreath here is I cut 21 inches of the pink opal pearls and 21 inches of the 2.5 millimeter rhinestone. Now please don't use anything larger than a 2.5 millimeter because you really do need this, the smallness of this when you wrap this around your little spiral stems, okay? So I'm going to start by just putting a little hot glue right here, like that, kind of wrapping it around the ugly part, okay? That's where we're going to start it. So I'm going to take my hot glue gun, go all the way around like that. Yeah, and then I'm just going to let it cool for a second. Yeah, it's starting to cool a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to hold this a little bit and just kind of wrap it around. Now when you wrap it around, it's really important that you make about 1/4 of an inch space in between your trim, because remember, you're going to be wrapping the rhinestone trim around here too. So kind of doing this at an angle, and I'm just wrapping it all the way around, just like this. Making sure you have that 1/4 of an inch width, and I'm guesstimating that. And this is going to look really pretty by the time you're finished. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going all the way around, like so. Okay. And these really are nice and solid by the time you finish this. Okay, and we're almost to the end. I think there's a, yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to clip this off. Like I said, don't worry too much about that. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap around the rhinestone chain. I did have about this much left over, but that's okay. I'd rather have a little too much than not enough. And it depends, excuse me, it depends on the width of the wreath. Lost my thought there for a minute. That's what happens when I try to think and craft at the same time. Alright, so I think I'm going to start this back here. I'm going to put, let's see. I'm not too worried about this part, like I said, because we'll be wrapping this and covering it, so okay. Just kind of let that dry. I did get a little too much hot glue, more than I wanted to, but that's all right. That's how we learn, huh? Okay, so I'm wrapping this in between, like that. You see how we needed the smallness of the chain? This wouldn't have worked out very well if it had been a 3mm. And we'll kind of adjust things once it's completely wrapped around. Okay, coming on around. We're not pulling this tight, but we're making it snug. Okay, so now I'm going to put some hot glue back here, right around here. Like that. Okay, so I bought this ribbon, gosh, maybe 5 years ago at Big Lots, and I'm going to take the ugly part here and I'm going to cut it. We're going to gently wrap it around. I'm not going to pull this hard because we don't want any lumps or bumps to show through. So I'm going to try my best to make this as even as possible. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to be using hot glue on this part. I'm going to be using the Beacon Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to shake that down to the bottom of the bottle here. And do this. And basically we're just covering it. And then we'll cover it with a bow on top of that, and I'll show you that in a moment. Okay. Okay, like that. And so the next thing we're going to do, okay, so I used one of these little bows, and you can find these on AliExpress, Amazon, you know, different places where they sell craft supplies. And just type in the words bow lace trim and it should pop up for you. So all I did was I cut this apart, and I didn't want the pearl in the middle, so I took these flush cutters and just cut the pearl off very easily. Okay, and then I added some stickles in icicle, and this is glitter glue, and I just added a little bit here, here, here. So and I allowed that to dry, and it took a little while for that to dry, but I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see, this is dried. I put quite a bit on here, and it shrank when it dried, of course. So I'm just going to hot glue this little bow right here. To here. And then I bought this from AliExpress. It came in a bag, and I think these are about 11 millimeter, somewhere between an 11 and a 12 millimeter, but I think it's 11 millimeter. And so I'm just going to glue that on here in the middle in place of the pearl. Some hot glue. And see a hot glue string here floating around. Oh my goodness. Okay. So it looks like that when it dries. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hot glue it onto here at the bottom. Okay? So let's turn this over. Put a little bit of hot glue here. My goodness, all these strings. And just going to hold it into place like that. Okay, so see, you can see in the back it doesn't look too bad, and I'm going to put a little rhinestone heart there. In fact, let me get that. Okay, I'm using one of the Dollar Tree Jot brand flat back stickers, and they're a little heart shape. So I'm just going to put a little dab right here, hardly anything. And then on the back, I'm just going to place it right there in the middle, just so the back will look pretty too. Okay, I have some silver knotting cord from Michaels, and I don't know what I was thinking. I should have bought the cord that was on the spool. I don't like the fact that this is wrapped around a card, because then you get these little bends in the cord. But I'm just going to give it a little tug to kind of stretch it out a little bit. It'll relax over time, but I should have bought the spool. Now, I think I cut about 18 inches. And I know that might seem a little long, but to be honest with you, I want to make sure that the person I give it to has plenty of string to tie it onto their Christmas tree the way they want to. You know, they're not struggling with it. So I was going to pick out a charm. These are just a few of the charms that I've made and that I've just kind of thrown in here. I really do need to make more. So, I mean, I can use a lot of different charms with this. Hanging in the middle, there's a little flower. There's a, I think there's a little angel in here somewhere. It's pink, yeah. This would be cute too, but I made this with pink and gold, and this is silver. So I don't think maybe that's the best. This is a white pearl with some pink. That would be okay, but not the greatest. I don't know, let me... This is a larger one. But that looks good. I think that looks good. Maybe I'll do that one. Okay. So I'm just going to take a 6mm jump ring from Hobby Lobby and just slide it on here. And I'm going to close it with my flat nose pliers. Kind of wiggle it back and forth until it closes completely. Okay. Make sure that that's shut. Okay. Now, I folded this in half, just like this. I'm just going to slide this through the jump ring, like that. See? Okay. I'm going to put this under here and slip these two strings through. And I'm going to try to find the exact middle at the top. Like, kind of move over here what I can. No, let's try this. That looks good, about like that. Okay, well, I really hope you enjoyed this ornament tutorial, and I hope you give it a try. This was pretty easy to put together. It was just a matter of having a little patience when it came to the wrapping part. And so that's about it. And you take care now, and God bless each and every one of you, and have a very blessed Christmas. And stay tuned for my upcoming tutorials. I'll be posting weekly. So thank you again, and God bless you. Bye-bye.